Yo, happy Friday, man. Thank y'all for keeping up with me. I appreciate the love, the support from all my subscribers. Hey, man, we back again with another video. Let's get it in. Let's get it in.
Generally speaking, tend to care less about a man's body count than.
But we're
What if the
talking
woman
about a
did?
woman who does care, even though she has a high body count
if
herself.
if a woman has previously slept with 100 men and she wants to date a virgin, that's 100% her prerogative. I don't have an issue with it, and I don't think it makes her a hypocrite.
Okay.
Now, do I think most women who have slept with 100 men would they prefer to date a man who's a virgin? I don't think so.
I personally would not want to be lectured about my body count by somebody who themselves has a high body count. If they were telling me, Aaron, how dare you have slept with like this many number of people, and I'm like, you have a body count of 50. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would not want to hear it.
Yeah, your argument is basically.
Well,
it's
I haven't
just-
fully made my argument yet, but go ahead.
But check this out, man. A woman's body count is important. A lot of men don't want a woman who's sleeping with thousands of, or maybe hundreds of dudes. I don't know about thousands, but hundreds of dudes. So your body count is important.
My understanding is like, oh no, the argument is like, oh no, that's just what they're attracted to. But at least from what I've noticed, whenever guys talk about body count in general, there is a moralistic reason attached.
Sure.
So it's not just a simple, oh, I'm just attracted to this, that's how it be. It's no, I think that type of behavior is bad, but when I do it, that type of behavior is suddenly okay, which I don't think is consistent morally.
Well, I mean, okay, so to further expand on my point of, in order to desire a trait in a partner, need you also possess said trait? I think we can all, well, I think we could all agree the answer to that is no. You need not possess a
then
trait
again,
in
you
order
would
to
find-
desire, for example, and I know
there's a
you went to the tall thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that I've said before. However, there's much better examples. For example, a woman who wants, I often hear women say they like men who can make them laugh, who are funny. Need a woman be funny herself to desire that in a partner? And does it make her hypocritical if she's not funny to find funny men attractive? I don't think so. I don't think she's hypocritical if she wants a guy who's funny, but she is not funny herself.
I feel like that's one of those things that I guess you could argue it's within your control to be funny or not, but humor is one of those things that kind of like comes to you or it doesn't. I don't think you can really teach
Yeah.
humor, so it's another one of those things that it may
Sure.
as well be an innate
How
characteristic.
about this? And I can give a ton of other examples here. A woman who who's attracted to high status men, but she's not high status herself. I'm sure you could agree that a lot of women would absolutely love to be in a relationship with a professional athlete, a musician, an actor. A lot of women have celebrity crushes, for example. I'm sure they would, do quite a bit to actually secure these men as partners. Whether they can or not, that's a different question. Are they hypocritical for desiring to date an exceptionally attractive or high status man,
None of these-
despite their lack of status?
Yeah.
Does it make them hypocrites?
The problem is none of these are moralistic reasons. So if a person was like, hey, I want to
No,
date
but I'm
some-
not arguing at it on that level. I'm simply arguing, in order to desire a trait in a person, need you possess that trait? And I think the answer is no.
No, but the problem is that most people or most men who want a low body count are not saying it simply on the basis of, oh, I just happen to be attracted. They always assign it with a moralistic reason.
So, what I like what he was saying, most women want a guy that's making over 100K or 200K and be a certain height and rock and roll a certain way, but everything high status. But she also has to be high status. I think that a lot of women today should, if you want a guy at a certain height, making a certain type of money, and has all types of businesses, whatever like that, she needs to also have that too. She needs to be the same height, making the same type of money. I think everything should be all around fair. Like, a lot of women today, don't they want a high status man, but they are not high status themselves. You want a guy making 200K, for example, but they making 50 or 60K just doing stuff at their hair salon, or whatever business they doing, working at Walmart or whatever. They still want a high value man, but they not high value themselves. So that don't make any sense to me.
That girl's a hoe, promiscuous, and that's bad for society.
But I'm not. That's to me that's totally irrelevant. To me that's totally irrelevant.
But
it's not totally irrelevant.
No, because if we're looking at if we're looking at the traits that people,
then why does it matter?
What do you mean?
Then why does body count matter?
What?
Body count matters because we don't want a woman that's sleeping with hundreds and 200 dudes. And bro, let me tell you this. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know what's wrong with this generation, but a lot of women who's like in their 20s, they don't care about marriage. They don't care about how many dudes they sleeping with. They would sleep with hundreds of dudes. And they're waiting until they hit 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, or 60. And then all of a sudden, after all of that, they want to settle down. They want the Mr. Good Guy. They want a God-fearing man. After they slept with hundreds of dudes, all of a sudden now they want the good guy.
Because you're saying like I
There's
don't
a whole
think
bunch
it's
of
moralistic,
reasons.
but why does it matter?
Well, there's a whole bunch of reasons
Then what's
why
one?
it might matter.
What's one?
Pair bonding.
Okay, well, I mean, there's studies that have come out that, for example, the more premarital sexual
I don't think anyone is basing that preference off a study.
Okay.
Brian, don't be delusional. Come on.
Hold on. There's studies that show that there's a greater likelihood of infidelity. There's a greater likelihood of reporting relationship dissatisfaction. There's a greater likelihood of a breakup of a relationship or of a marriage the more premarital sexual partners you've had. There's also an evopsych evolutionary psychology biological reason when it comes to paternity uncertainty. A woman who's more, and this is almost something that's innate in men, a woman who's promiscuous, if she's sleeps with a lot of men, there's a chance, for example, that she might the kid might not be yours, for example.
Cuckoldry. True cuckoldry is
What do you
when
mean?
you might accidentally raise another man's child.
Right. And so any woman who gives birth to someone, you know for a fact that is your biological child, but as a man, you can't 100% be certain.
It's 2024, Brian. You can take
That doesn't
paternity tests.
undo, yes, you can do DNA tests, which came out in the 80s. That doesn't undo hundreds of thousands of years of evolution that have made men more invested in ensuring paternity.
Yeah,
But
I think that
also,
There's an
high-
evopsych reason for that.
yeah, and you could argue that there's
Which is why
evopsych-
men care more about body count, they care more about promiscuity, and they care much more about virginity, for example.
There are strong evopsych reasons for women to also want men with low body count, so there'd be less STDs,
For
less chances.
parental, what's it called? For parental
resources, maybe.
For parental investment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes, I agree, but I'm not in favor. Like of there's certain guys in the space that advocate that you should just try to run through a bunch of girls. I don't advocate for that.
yeah, but the problem is
You should
if
space
somebody
it out.
has this
What's that?
You should space it out.
No.
The problem is if you have the
Bracket, I'm sorry.
mentality of like, oh, I value these things for like all these different reasons. That's why I want to find a woman with low body count. Chances are she's also going to have those same values, right? For her own reasons, for wanting to have like parental security, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have that high body count and you're still looking for a woman with like low body count, chances are she's not going to be attracted to you. So
But
you're
why is it
cornering
only?
So I don't care for a woman. Me personally, I don't care for attracting a woman who's have a high body count, stuff with hundreds of dudes. I mean, you even think about it. You even go like on the different podcasts over on the internet, like Fresh and Fit. A lot of those women have a high body count, and I'm assuming a lot of women on this podcast have a high body count. sleeping with hundreds of dudes and stuff. I don't care about dating a woman and being in a relationship with a woman who slept with hundreds of dudes because it doesn't attract me. I don't even really like it, so who cares?
Wrong.
in.
Why is it? It seems it's like the case that it's only wrong if a man wants a trait that he doesn't possess. But when women want a guy who's funny, but she's not funny,
It's
hold
within
on, let me
his
just finish.
purview.
Hold on, let me just finish.
more-
He doesn't have to stick
No,
his dick
but
in
there-
everything that he wants
Hold on. But a woman wants. Okay, a woman wants a guy who's funny. She's not funny. A woman wants a guy who's rich, but she's broke. A woman wants a guy who's a professional athlete. She's not a professional athlete. A woman wants a guy who's high status. She has no status. A woman wants a guy who's confident. She's not confident. A woman wants a guy who's charismatic. She's not charismatic.
It's
A woman wants a guy who's chivalrous. She's not chivalrous.
Some of
I mean,
this
we
some are
can-
describing yin and yang. Others you're
So
just
what he's talking about is that they in today's society, women demonize a man for having his standards, for wanting to have somebody, like, for example, not having a high body count, and he doesn't have a high body count, but he wants a woman that's, not sleeping around with the hundreds of dudes. But when a woman, like what he was saying, like if a woman wants a man that's funny, but she's not funny herself, then it's supposed to be acceptable. Or if she's broke and he's making a lot of money, then the guy's supposed to take her as she is. But they won't take a man as he is. That doesn't make any sense. Well, you know what? I'm just going to keep playing.
describing examples of, to me, pure hypocrisy.
Wait, no, but for me,
Yeah.
it's
No,
the moralistic purview that's
you're
attached.
trying to like snake your way out of like
You
No,
can
no,
these
no.
are
possibly
clear.
fathom that someone might disagree with you on this one. Actually, talk to the majority of women. Yeah, the majority of women are not going to put up being lectured by a guy with a high body count about their body count any day
No,
of the
but
week.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If a woman doesn't want to be with a guy with a high body count, I don't object to that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not arguing that like women shouldn't care about that. If you care about that, that's 100% your prerogative. But my issue is when you say and you shame men, oh, if you're a guy and you've had a high body count, and again, I'm not an advocate of men racking up high body counts, but if a guy does have more sexual experience, that should preclude him from having an interest in women with low body count. I object to that.
No, it's a
because
moralistic purview that's
because
attached
women
to it.
all the time desire traits in men that they do not possess themselves.
It's a moral.
So, that is true. So now I know what he's talking about is that a lot of women, and I can only relate to like the women that I deal with in life, that I dated, man, they request me to have something that they don't even have. Like, a guy he could be working as a manager at, for example, Target. He could be probably making a good 80,000, 90,000, whatever. And a woman that's working at McDonald's, beautiful, 20, 25 years old, whatever, she thinks that she's entitled to be with a guy that's making like 3 or 4 times as much as she's making. 3 or 4 times more than what she's making, I mean. That is ridiculous. And, I don't know where these girls be getting this delusional mindset from, but listen, this is what we have to deal with. This is what men has to deal with, unfortunately.
moralistic
so
purview attached to it. If a woman was like, "Hey,
So what?
let
So
me
what
finish
if there's
my
a?
argument."
But so
no,
what?
it does
no,
matter.
Pixie.
It matters.
Pixie. So what if there is a moralistic
I'll explain
component
why
to it?
so what.
It's totally irrelevant.
It's not.
It's totally irrelevant.
Let me explain
I just
why.
outright dismiss your position.
Because you're not letting
No.
me finish the argument.
Hitchens razor.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. That's sorry. That's
if
not
a
Hitchens
woman,
razor. That's not
if
Hitchens
a
razor.
woman
That's not
was saying, "Hey, I want a guy who is like, calm, and I think because like that's what a good person is. A good person is a calm person,
Yeah.
And then she's out there, throwing temper tantrums, freaking out. Well, then that would make her a giant hypocrite because she is not upholding herself to the moral standard that she wants her partner to have. So yes, it does matter when somebody is trying to uphold the moral standard that they cannot themselves concede to.
What about a woman who's feminine and wants a masculine man?
Is that a moral standard? No.
Is being calm a moral standard?
Well, if the woman is arguing, I want somebody calm,
Or is that a
because that's
behavioral?
if the person is attaching moral purview to being calm, then yeah, they should be
Wait, so
calm
is-
themselves. If they're saying it is of upright moral importance that my partner is a calm person, because a calm person is a good person.
I do think it's. How do I? I don't think it necessarily makes her a hypocrite.
Really, if
I think it would be more conducive, perhaps, to a better relationship if they're
Yeah.
both calm individuals. I don't think in any scenario being like a chaotic, bitchy person or being a guy who's a toxic asshole. I don't think that's conducive to a healthy relationship.
Yeah, the point
But-
I'm trying to get across is that if a person is saying, I want my partner to have X quality because X quality makes them a good person, and then they don't have that quality themselves, they're being hypocritical morally.
Yeah. Most of the things that you're describing tend to be proxies for other things. So you're like a woman who herself is not a professional athlete wants to be with a man who's a professional athlete.
That makes her a hypocrite, according
Well,
to
no,
your.
because there's
Yeah,
no
no,
moral
I mean,
purview.
You just, bro. She just said that girl in Pete just said if you have something that they don't have, if the guy's a professional football player, whatever, for example, and she's not a professional football player, so he's making more money than her, then that's a hypocrite, according to her definition. Come on now. Help me make it make sense. Come on. If a woman is not making a certain amount of money, if she's not making, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600K, whatever, then she can't request a guy that's making that much money. She just can't. I don't understand. This girl right here is just pure contradictory.
Explain to you, Brian, why
If
it
we use
doesn't.
your logic,
No.
it would make
No,
her a
I
hypocrite.
literally started this off by saying I believe it's a proxy for something else. So what she doesn't really want is that if a professional athlete didn't make much money in the society, guess what? She wouldn't want that she wouldn't be invested in dating somebody who has that profession. So it's almost like they have no attachment to the profession, and what they really want is wealth. So she would probably date anybody who is wealthy. And at that point, if she's not wealthy herself or is not even trying to become wealthy, I'd say, yeah, you're a hypocrite. Also, it's a long shot if you think you're going to marry outside of your economic class. It's
I mean, there's
statistically
plenty
very,
of other
very
reasons
unlikely.
why a woman might want to date a professional athlete, for
Yeah,
example.
the love of football. Yeah.
No,
Basketball, that's what it is.
Well, I would actually argue typically professional athletes are demonstrating some sort of physicality. They probably have, not all of them, some
So do models.
NFL linemen,
So do
might not.
models.
Well, I was going to say physique, for example. What do you mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're like, well, they demonstrate some sort of physicality, and I'm saying like, so do models and bodybuilders. And at that point, what you're not even talking about as a professional athlete, you just want somebody who's like physically
attractive.
Yeah,
right.
of course.
But I don't think it makes
My
you a
argument
hypocrite.
boils down to this: don't throw stones in glass houses.
what's a
And I
hypocrite
think
then?
somebody who obviously puts a lot of stake in a body count and judges other women for having high body counts, but they themselves have a high body count, is throwing a stone in a glass house.
No, it doesn't. It does not make you hypocritical.
that's-
Agree to disagree.
It does not
Agree to
make you
disagree.
hypocritical.
If that's not hypocritical, then
desire,
what's hypocritical to you?
Huh?
I said if that's not hypocritical,
I can't
then
get- I
what
don't-
is?
What's the
I can't-
definition of
Of hypocrisy.
Yeah. How would you define
One
hypocrisy?
one thing I don't like is that this dude doesn't tell these girls to just shut up. Just one talk at a time. Like this, it's sometimes like boil my blood. I'm like, bro, man, control the podcast, man. Just stop letting these girls talk over you like this, bro. Like, control the podcast, because it's just a lot of girls just talking out of hand. This is the problem. This I can guarantee you, all of these girls are masculine. Like the way they just jump in this dude, like, and this, I mean, he's not even really, controlling it. The podcast. I mean, he's doing a good job. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like this dude. I like the podcast. I like the game. But if this was like Fresh and Fit, then bro, they would have just told the girl, "Shut up, stop talking over me." But overall, man, listen, a woman can't ask for a guy that's making way more money than she is if she's not making that much money. But in today's society, unfortunately, a lot of girls who make a lot of money are doing it by Instagram, posting half naked pictures, OnlyFans, or just having intimacy in different industries like the porn industry, whatever. But not a lot of girls are really making money through like a legit business, like just without having to expose themselves. Because the guy doesn't really want, most guys, now I can't speak for all guys, but most guys don't want a woman with a high body count. That just is unattractive. And it's, most of the time they become single moms too. Most of the time they get pregnant and become single moms. So yeah, but guys, just keep focused. You know, keep your money up, keep hustling, keep that get your bread and stuff, and just don't worry about some of these women are just doomed. Like some of them just doomed. Period. I don't even know if I want to continue this video, but I think I'm gonna just leave it right here. But listen, man, thank y'all for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thank y'all.